Pause for a second and think about someone specific. Someone you've told things to, someone you've opened up to, shared real moments with, led into the parts of your life that don't make it onto any feed or highlight reel. Now ask yourself honestly, when did they last think about you? Not in passing. Not because you appeared on their screen. Actually think about you. Wonder how you're doing. Reach out just to check. They didn't. And that message, you were half expecting the one that would have said, "Hey, I've been thinking about you." It never came. It's not coming. Here's the thing nobody wants to say out loud. You are not on anyone's mind the way you are on your own. Nobody is replaying your embarrassing moments with the same relentless precision you are at 2 a.m. Nobody is mentally rehearsing your future the way you do, hoping it works out, terrified it won't. The running inner commentary of your life, every doubt and every dream inside it, exists only inside you. To everyone else, you are a supporting character in a story they are completely absorbed in their own. I know that lands hard. Stay with it. Because by the end of this, you're going to understand why that truth is not a wound. It's a door. Cast your mind back over the last week. You shared something that actually mattered to you. Good news, maybe, or something you were struggling with. How many people leaned in? How many actually asked a follow-up question? How many remembered it the next time they saw you? Your best friend missed your birthday. Your family cycles through the same surface-level questions every time you see them, as if the last conversation never happened. A colleague smiles at you warmly in the hallway and has forgotten you exist before they reach their desk. You send someone a message that took real thought and real honesty, and you get haha yeah back. Or worse, you get silence, which confirms the thing you'd already suspected, but didn't want to confirm. This isn't because you did something wrong. It's not a verdict on your worth. It's just the nature of how people operate. Every single person around you is the lead actor in their own internal drama, consumed by their own fears, their own unfinished business, their own quiet desperation. In that drama, you are a side character. Not because they're cruel, because they're human, and humans are fundamentally, structurally self-absorbed. Think about the last time someone asked how you were really doing. Not the automatic throwaway version of that question, but the real version. The one followed by actual listening, actual eye contact, actual presence. Maybe one person, maybe none. Your boss cares about your output. Your friends want the fun version of you, not the complicated one. Your family is tangled in their own problems. Even in your closest relationship, the person across from you spends most of their internal life somewhere you can't reach. This sounds like the setup for despair. It isn't. What I'm about to tell you changes the entire frame. You have been dragging an invisible weight your whole life. It's the weight of other people's imagined opinions, what they might think, what they might say, whether they noticed, whether they approved. You've been waiting to be seen before you fully showed up, waiting to be saved before you started saving yourself, waiting for someone to notice you before you decided it was worth being noticed. But no one is coming, and the audience you've been performing for, the one you imagine watching every move you make, cataloging every mistake, scoring every attempt, it was never there. They were all too busy rehearsing their own performance to watch yours. So why are you still in costume? Tomorrow morning, you wake up in the same room, but something is different. You understand for the first time in a way that actually sticks that your life is yours, not theoretically, not as an inspirational concept, but as a literal operating reality. No one else has a stake in it. No one else is keeping score. Every decision, what you chase, what you abandon, what you try, what you walk away from belongs entirely to you. And with that understanding, something heavy lifts. The burden of disappointing people who weren't really paying attention, the exhaustion of impressing people who forgot you exist, the performance for an audience that never bought a ticket, all of it gone. What's left is actual freedom, not the thing itself. Think about the dream you've been sitting on, the project, the change, the version of your life that lives just past the edge of what you currently allow yourself. Why hasn't it happened? If you're honest, the answer involves other people, what they'd think, what they'd say, whether they'd understand, whether they'd laugh. Here's the reality: they won't laugh. Not because they're supportive, because they're distracted. They are too deep in their own unfinished story to pay sustained attention to yours. The fear that has been keeping you small is a fear of an audience that doesn't exist. You have been holding yourself back from a judgment that was never going to come. From people who are far too preoccupied with their own chaos to monitor yours. That thing you've been waiting to start? Start it. That conversation you've been avoiding? Have it. That choice you keep deferring until conditions are more certain, until more people are on board, until it feels safer? Make it. In the worst case, someone notices and disapproves, and by dinner, they've forgotten. Because they don't care, not cruelly, just humanly. Most people hear "nobody cares" and collapse inward. They hear it as confirmation of their smallness, proof that they don't matter, and they go quiet. But that's not what it means. What it means is that the force that has been keeping you in line, the imaginary social pressure, the invisible crowd, the fear of judgment, is fiction. It was always fiction. And now you know. When no one is watching your failures, you can't be publicly humiliated by them. When no one is tracking your attempts, you can't be held to someone else's record of them. When no one expects anything specific from you, you can't disappoint them. You are free, genuinely, structurally free, to rebuild from scratch. The moment you actually absorb this, here's what changes. You stop asking for permission to live. Not as a mantra, as a daily operating fact. You stop waiting for validation from people who are struggling to validate themselves. You make decisions faster because the only person whose opinion you're waiting on is yours. You take bigger risks because the ledger of your attempts exists only inside you. You start being honest, really honest, because the social cost of honesty was always mostly imaginary anyway. Your failures become lighter. Your wins become more real, not measured in reactions and comments, but in what you actually feel when you sit with them alone. At the end of a day, that was genuinely yours. Think about how much energy you pour into appearances, the carefully constructed post, the hours spent managing how you come across, the nights you couldn't sleep because of something someone said behind your back. All of that energy redirected toward something that's actually yours. Because while you've been performing for them, they've been performing for someone else, and nobody is watching anybody. It's a theater full of performers with no audience. Everyone terrified of dropping the ball in front of a crowd that isn't looking. Put the balls down. Walk off the stage. The theater never needed you. You never needed it. You've spent years constructing a version of yourself for public consumption. The reliable one, the easy one, the one who keeps things pleasant and doesn't ask too much and never makes it uncomfortable. You built that version carefully, brick by brick. And you handed it to people who barely noticed the craftsmanship before moving on. What did it cost you? The real answer? Everything. The exhaustion of maintenance. The quiet resentment of never quite being seen. The strange, hollow feeling of living a life that fits everyone's expectations except your own. That version of you, the one built for others, was never really you. It was a placeholder. And the real version has been waiting, patient and fully formed. For you to stop pretending it doesn't exist, this is where it splits. Before and after. The version of you that lived for external approval ends here. Not with a dramatic gesture, just with a shift in operating assumption. Your life is the project. Your standards are the ones that matter. The mirror is the only audience worth performing for. Look at the people you genuinely admire, the ones living in a way that seems real, that seems like theirs. Did they build it by waiting for consensus? Did they ask the room for permission before they started? They found out what you're finding out right now, that since nobody was watching closely enough to stop them, they simply began, and they kept going. And the life they built is the result. That's your path. It won't be comfortable. You'll lose some people along the way, the ones who liked the manageable version, who found the predictable you easier to deal with. Let them go. They were in love with the costume. When you take it off, they won't recognize you, and that's fine, because you'll finally recognize yourself, and here's what's waiting on the other side. Maybe a few people, 2 or 3, who see the real version and stay anyway, who aren't confused by it, aren't threatened by it, who actually show up for it. That's not a small thing. That's everything. But even if they don't appear, even if the path stays solitary, it's still the only one worth walking. A life lived on your own terms, even alone, is more real than a life lived for people who weren't paying attention. Right now, in this exact moment, there is something you've been avoiding. A conversation, a decision, a truth you've been holding back because of what they might think. What do they actually think? Nothing sustained. Nothing that will still be alive in their head by the time they go to sleep tonight. the thing you've been protecting yourself from, their judgment, their reaction, their opinion, evaporates faster than you know. You've been organizing your whole life around a threat that barely exists. Take it back, all of it. The energy you've loaned out to people who didn't know they were borrowing it, the permission you've been waiting for from people who never had any authority to grant it, the space you've been apologizing for taking up in a room that was yours to begin with. You don't need to announce this to anyone. Just begin. The project, the conversation, the change, the risk. Start it like someone who finally understood that the audience was imaginary because they were. This is the moment, not next week, not when it feels less frightening. Now, your life is happening right now, at this exact moment, and it belongs to no one but you. Nobody else wants it. Nobody else can live it. Nobody else cares about it the way you do, which means you are the only one qualified to decide what it becomes. So stop waiting for someone to notice you. Stop performing for people who left the theater. Stop living inside someone else's idea of who you should be. You already have everything required to begin. The only question is whether you'll use it.